So for tonight's recipe, the wife and kids are out of town, so I'm basically scrounging downstairs with whatever I can find. Because, you know, who goes out to the grocery store when you're home alone? And for tonight's dinner, I'm combining a supermarket brand luncheon loaf, aka Spam, with a can of Campbell's Cream of Mushroom soup, a bit of onion, and some rice. The idea being that any one of these things on their own would be kind of boring and relatively unpalatable for my sophisticated tastes. So what I need to do is add some texture. So I am browning the luncheon loaf that I have already diced up. I'm going to add to it the onion to give it just that little bit of sweetness. And then after I get everything to a nice brown consistency, I will add the Campbell's soup and probably about 2 tablespoons of dry rice and just let them simmer for a bit to allow the rice to cook and the essence of the soup to kind of soak into everything. So I will catch you guys after I've gone through all the boring stuff, and we'll see how it tastes. Now, key thing when you're trying to saute some onion, this luncheon loaf does not have nearly enough fat in it to help brown the onion. So I'm just adding just a dash of butter, and that'll help my onions to brown and also give a nice satisfying caramel coating to the luncheon loaf as well. Now you may be asking what exactly is in this luncheon loaf. And just a quick read of the ingredients. You got to mechanically separate chicken, water, pork, salt, sugar, corn syrup. This is basically a hot dog, just packed into a cube. Now the key thing we're trying to achieve is to brown up our protein, because basically this is the consistency of the inside of a hot dog. And while, you know, that may be entertaining inside of a roll, I mean, how many people go to a grill and they just really love that burnt hot dog? And inside of the cream mushroom soup, we're really going to be craving some sort of texture to distract us from the overly consistent consistency of the mushroom soup. Because, you know, I don't care how good a mushroom soup is, if you don't have anything to bite into, it gets pretty drab after the second or third spoonful. So we are just waiting for this stuff to go brown. I'm trying to get this onion to be a nice, clear caramel. Look at this, something like in between like a French onion soup and this mushroom soup we're doing, because this is basically how you'd start a French onion soup as well. A little butter, some onion. Now, you use beef stock for a French onion soup, but we're just cooking with improv at this point. There's 6 servings of protein inside this pan, and that's going to be way too much for one guy to eat for dinner. So I'm going to take about half of this and just set it aside, and I'll just give myself a nice Spam and eggs in the morning, perhaps. But we just, again, not trying to overwhelm ourselves with any one thing with this dish. And don't worry about that goodie on the bottom. We are going to recapture that with the soup. So we are now ready for our next phase, which is to add the soup. So no biggie here. We just crack open our lid. And we're going to lower our temperature a little bit. I'm going to add our can of water. There we go. Try to get all that flavor out of the can that we can. Okay. Now, to thicken the soup up and also give us just that little bit of extra crunchy, we're also going to toss in a few tablespoons of rice, and we'll let this simmer for about 20 minutes. And that'll give the rice plenty of time to cook up, and that will thicken the soup. There we go. Drop that in there. 1, 2. And that should be plenty of rice. Again, you don't want to go too much or you're going to end up with a paste, which, again, maybe that's what you're going for. But for tonight, I'm going for almost like a soup. A soup with meat and a bit of rice. So I've gotten this back up to a nice light simmer. You can see the occasional bubble here. I'm going to give this another quick stir, and then I'm just going to let it sit for about 20 minutes. And then I said that'll give the rice plenty of time to cook up. So I got my temperature up pretty high right here, and knock that down to about a 3. Your wattage will vary, and we'll see what we get. All right, we got about 30 seconds left on the timer. Let's see how we're doing here. Now the trick with mushroom soup is that it's very floury, and so you do have to kind of keep it stirred to keep it from separating. But otherwise, it seems like we've got a pretty good mix here. Let's put some in my bowl and get a taste test. So at last, I have dinner. And I didn't have to run for drive-through, and I just used stuff that was sitting on the shelf. Lots of shelf life. So, the moment of truth. Very salty. It's not necessarily a bad thing. My cardiologist would probably have words. The rice could have used another couple minutes, I guess. It's al dente. It's not going to break your teeth. But I am really glad I spent some time singeing the protein, for lack of a better term, because that's basically the only texture I have here. Now, the taste is delightful, but it's also so smooth, and that's what I was trying to make sure that I spiced a little bit of something to bite into to enjoy. So I definitely make it again. I definitely try other ingredients, but hey, if you're bored at home and you just happen to have these sitting on your shelf, give it a try.